Ever since getting back from their off day on Tuesday, the Broncos have had some up and down practices. Though each day seems to have gotten a little bit better, there still is a lot of improving to do before the season starts next month. Nevertheless, there's been excitement, as always, surrounding the most important position battle on the field. You guessed it, the punting battle. This is Daniel Halpern, and for all that happens at training camp, only the most important facts are ever shown to the public, so I'm here to tell you what they don't tell you at training camp. Wednesday at practice, after getting back from a day off, every onlooker expected to see some more vitality from the players, when in all actuality, they seemed to be even more sluggish than they were Monday after their second straight full-padded practice. All three quarterbacks were sloppy, either overthrowing or underthrowing most balls, with Paxton Lynch being the worst out of the group, completing a very low number of his passes. The defensive effort was there, but almost seemed like a non-factor with how off-target some passes were from the get-go. Also on offense, receivers, tight ends, and even the running backs seemed to be thrown off by the lack of good passes and weren't even able to catch a lot of the well-placed balls towards the beginning of practice. Around halfway through practice, though, Coach Gary Kubiak was so fed up with how poorly his team was performing that he stopped practice altogether to tell the players to get their act together. Kubiak's unhappiness towards the play he was seeing on the field wasn't just taken out on the players, but the general fan too, by making practice last an additional 30 minutes in the blistering Colorado summer heat. Luckily, someone seemed to have given him a Kubi snack to calm him down before his press conference because he was a little less livid and more relaxed. Until someone asked him about the punters, because the last thing someone who's cranky wants to talk about is punters. Well, cooler heads prevailed on Thursday, along with cooler temperature that seemed to ease the players' anxieties a little bit. All three quarterbacks seemed to play much better, though not up to the level that many fans want them to be at. But come on, Mark Sanchez isn't going to be a 2013 Peyton Manning-like stat god. Any one of the quarterbacks on the team is just going to try to be the game manager who doesn't turn the ball over. The Broncos have made it very clear that they intend to win games defensively and through the run game, and don't need a quarterback to put up gaudy numbers. In a strange turn of events Thursday, Trevor Siemian ended up running with the ones, while Sanchez and Lynch ran with the twos and threes respectively. This didn't play well for Siemian though, because he seemed to struggle against the first-team defense. The roles reversed back to normal Friday, with Sanchez playing with the ones and Siemian with the twos. And with it, the quality of play also switched, with Siemian looking better than Sanchez. Which brings me to a good point. I have been pretty critical of the quarterbacks this year, but it could just be the result of playing against the number one defense in the league. Who knows? All my criticism may be invalid come season's time when the quarterbacks are facing easier defenses. Friday, the elements became a factor as the rain started to drizzle towards the end of practice. The main thing I focused on was the running backs competition. Though the Broncos have a lot of talent at running back and are pretty deep at the position, there aren't enough roster spots to keep them all. As it stands, CJ Anderson will be the starter going into the year with only around 3 or 4 spots left. Andy Janovich, along with Jawan Thompson, both seem to be safe, being able to play the fullback position in Kubiak's offense, as well as a good amount of special teams. Devontae Booker is one of the best players from the Broncos past draft class, and I expect to see a lot out of him, at least as a third down back as the season goes on. That leaves just Kapri Bibbs and Ronnie Hillman. Though Ronnie Hillman has been on the team for 5 years, I think he will be the one cut if it comes down to him and Bibbs. Though Hillman may be the better option for right now, Kapri Bibbs is the younger player who also plays some special teams, giving him the slight edge over Hillman. Either way, the Broncos seem like they like all 6 of the backs on the team and will most likely try to sign whoever they cut to the practice squad once the season starts. Taking a look back at some of the highlights from the week, while practicing punt returns Thursday, Cody Latimer decided to try and save a ball going out of bounds. Well, normally there wouldn't be any problem with this, or anything highlight-worthy. But I was kinda right in the direction of the punt, and therefore right in the way of the 6'2", 215-pound Cody Latimer. I froze up harder than Cam Newton not diving on the football after being strip-sacked in the Super Bowl. Luckily for me, Latimer dodged me and whizzed right past, leaving me unharmed. Oh yeah, and I met this guy named Paxton Lynch. My Make-A-Wish came full circle after I finally got to meet the quarterback who I announced back at the draft just a few months ago. Though he was much taller than I expected, he was quite the gentle giant. Right away, he said that he appreciated me picking him and told me that he was more excited when I announced his name than he was when John Elway called him on the phone. pretty cool if I do say so myself. The main takeaway from my short interview with him, though, was that the hardest part about transitioning to the pros is that he needs to go against Von Miller every day in practice. If I've learned anything over the past week at camp, it's that going against Von, and the whole defense really, is quite the daunting challenge. And of course, the highlight of the interview with Paxton was him saying he would love to go skiing with me once his career is over. Hopefully that'll be a long time from now. The only thing that my Make-A-Wish needs now to be cemented as one of the best ever is to make another appearance on Wishlist with the Sklar brothers, and maybe Rich Eisen. I've had a great time at training camp over the past week, and though the average fan won't get the same type of access as me, I still strongly recommend that you go and see your team practice in the next few weeks while practices are still open to the public. Going to the open practices opens you up to a whole new football experience and is something a fan rarely gets to see during the regular season. Thanks for having me, NFL Now. My name is Daniel Halpern, signing off.